You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
A Super Smiley Adventure is brought to you by State Farm.
I'm Smiley the dog. I am a mutt. I'm Smiley the dog. I'm super smiley. I am a cat, too sweet, the travel kitty. I'm a good girlfriend, Angel's really pretty. I have a pony and we share a big horse. We have a big yard. Yeah, we have to, of course. I have a pool. In the summer I stay cool. Do a fountain, live in the mountain, live high on the hog. Need to be a spokes dog. I'm Smiley the dog. I am a mutt. I'm Smiley the dog. I'm super smiley.
Woof and Super Smiles. Welcome to a Super Smiley Adventure on Pet Life Radio, the largest pet radio network in the world. I'm Megan Blake, the pet lifestyle coach, here with my possum co-host, two-time shelter dog, Super Smiley, the ambassador of kindness for State Farm, our wonderful national sponsor. As the pet lifestyle coach, I travel the country with Smiley, helping people adopt the right pet for their lifestyle and then help train them so they keep that pet forever. And here on a Super Smiley Adventure, we explore adventures where animals lead. These can be adventures for fun, or missions of animal advocacy, or inner journeys of self-discovery, where our pets often show themselves as our healers and teachers. With these themes in mind, I am so excited to welcome our world-renowned guest today. From Animal Planet's It's Me or the Dog, it's positively Victoria Stilwell. Hi, Victoria.
Hello. Thanks for having me on. Good to be here.
Oh, Victoria, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. I know you've been traveling the world, working with people and their dogs, right?
I have, yes. I've just come back from the UK where I have been filming a brand new television show, so I'm very excited about that.
Oh, we're excited too. Is that something that's going to just be shown in the UK, or will we get to see it in the United States as well?
Well, I think initially it will be shown in the UK next year. It's due to transmit next year. But I'm hoping, because I think it's just a great, great show, I'm hoping that we'll have good distribution. So who knows? It could come over to the United States as well.
Well, Super Smiley and I will keep our paws crossed that we get to see your new show. And first, before we get into everything, I want our listeners to know that Victoria is absolutely awesome. I met Victoria personally many times at the Genesis Awards and the Hero Dog Awards, and we presented together with Super Smiley at the Hero Dog Awards, right, Victoria?
We did. I remember that. We had such a good time, and it's always lovely to see you there. It's a great event.
Oh, yes, Victoria. It's always so good to see you. And everybody still, Victoria, you are just so extremely impressive. You are sweet and genuine, and at the same time, you are so grounded and powerful. And that is just such a beautiful combination. It's such a pleasure to know you and to have you on our show today. We're very excited.
Well, thank you.
And so, Victoria, I imagine all my listeners are very familiar with your work, but I'm so thrilled to be able to ask you more about your thoughts about dogs. So let's just start at the very beginning. Your brand is Positively. Can you tell us exactly what Positively means to you?
Well, we did this brand because Positively is about a lifestyle with your pet, not just in the way that you raise your pet, but in the way you teach your pet. Mm-hmm. And it's all about humane handling. And humane handling is the most important thing because, unfortunately, out there are still a lot of people who will train their dogs quite forcibly and use devices to cause pain, and all in the name of training. And the beautiful thing is that it's just absolutely not needed. So Positively is kind of the antidote to all of that other stuff out there, and it's really successful because when people see that not just the kind of methods work with their dogs, they have a better life with their dogs. So it doesn't just affect their dogs, it affects them as well in the lives that they live. So that's basically what Positively is all about. It's about raising your pet, living a great life with your pet, and being kind.
I love that, being kind, and it's the antidote. I love the way you phrased all of that, Victoria, and I've watched so many of your It's Me or the Dog episodes. I also love how you think of creative ways to adjust a dog's behavior if there's a problem behavior. Can you talk about the importance of thinking the way a dog thinks, or at least understanding the way a dog thinks? Can you talk to us about that, please?
Yeah, you really, you've hit the nail on the head with that. It's all about understanding how our dogs perceive the world. Because again, the old style of training really takes away the dog's ability to think. What we at Positively do is that we allow dogs to think and to problem solve and to discover. And we have found that when you give a little bit of power back to these dogs, that you don't control their every movement, that you force them almost, not force them, I get that's the wrong word, but you allow them to to problem solve by themselves, then you have a dog that is less anxious, less behavioral issues, less probability of being aggressive, more confident. It really is a beautiful method. And so that's why I love allowing dogs the space to think.
I love that, Victoria. And with you saying that, I'm thinking about the way I work with my dogs, Angel and Smiley and other dogs. Sometimes if it's something simple, like they can't figure out how to get in the car, or figure out where to sit in the car, or to get something I want them to get, I will literally say to them, figure it out. And they do, they figure it out. And it's so cute when they know that phrase. That means I'm giving them time to use their little brain, and they get it. They get it, don't they, Victoria?
They do, because, we mustn't forget that these animals do have the most incredible brains. No, they're not as complex as ours, but if we just sort of take a very quick look at the dog brain, or the dog's brain, they do have a less involved cerebral cortex, so they do have simpler thought processes than we do. However, the emotional part of a dog's brain is wired in exactly the same way as ours.
Amazing.
So they do have emotions, they do have feelings, they do have, the ability to have memory. I mean, that's very important for survival. They can reason. They are empathetic. They can sympathize. These dogs, the more behavioral and cognitive science is finding out about these animals, the more we're learning, the more we can live a better life with them and make their lives better with us. And that's why I'm so excited. And that's why I love the work I do, because it really is, it's trying to get into the head of these animals and just trying to I guess, strengthen the bond between animals and humans.
Absolutely, the human-animal bond. I love everything you're saying, Victoria. We are such supporters and fans of yours. And you're doing a lot of work with State Farm, and they have so many programs that are so positive for dog owners. One is the bite prevention work you do with them. Can you tell our listeners about the bite prevention work you're doing with State Farm?
Yeah, well, first of all, State Farm really are the most incredible company, not just because of their stance where they don't utilize any kind of breed-specific legislation on any kind of dog. They'll write insurance regardless of the breed you have. They are just an amazing company, an amazing group of people. And, of course, Heather is just a wonderful person who heads the team, as it were, and, has made my experience working with State Farm such a good one. And I think dog bite prevention is close to all of our hearts, because State Farm is it's on the kind of the front line, as it were, because they're the ones processing the dog bite claims. So they're the ones seeing what's happening out there. And so rather than just take a reactive stance, they're being proactive by raising awareness and educating and spreading the word. And that's why I wanted to join them, because we're so on board with their message, and we really, really can affect change. And I truly believe that melding together and coming together, you can reach more people in more areas. And we want to reach everybody, not just children. We want to reach adults as well, because kids learn from their parents. They learn from their guardians. So if we can get information out there about how to be safe around dogs, how to interact with dogs, then that is, I think, our goal. And that's why I'm so excited to be working with them.
I love that. I love that. And thank you, Victoria, for your work. I want to talk more about how we can better embrace and live with our dogs with the amazing Victoria Stilwell right after this break. Smiley, can you wait? Good boy.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
State Farm, this is Andrea.
Yeah, what if I get into an accident in, say, Accident, Arkansas?
Anywhere in the U.S., State Farm has you covered.
And if I hit the only tree in Lone Pine, California?
We'll send a tow truck right over.
What if I get dinged in Denton?
North Carolina or Texas?
Both.
Then we'll send 2 trucks.
Well played.
State Farm handles more claims than any other company. Over 35,000 per day. Call 1-800-STATE-FARM and get to a better state.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
And we're back on a super smiley adventure with the amazing Animal Planet's Victoria Stilwell. Victoria, you were just talking about working with children and adults. What do you find is the most common mistake that people make with their dogs?
No, I think the common mistake is not just that the actual dog people make. I think it's that parents walking with their kids allow their children to go over and say hello, or that. That I think it's human nature, and I'm the same. When I see a cute dog, my first instinct, I want to go over there and touch that dog and say, "Oh my God, that's so cute."
Right.
But I have to realize I can't be really weird. If you're walking along with your child and some stranger, complete stranger, comes up and just touches your child.
Absolutely.
Well, it's the same if you're walking with your dog. Yet, because, we want to touch and we think that they're cute, we go into their space and invade their space and touch them. Well, we have to teach people, parents as well as kids, that's not all right. You can't do that. You can't invade a dog's personal space because, unfortunately, some dogs are just fearful of strangers coming towards them, like I would be if somebody came and just touched me. And sometimes they react negatively.
That's exactly right. And along the same lines, Victoria, could you talk about people with very friendly dogs letting their dogs just run up to another dog? Could you talk about that, please?
Oh, my gosh. That just drives me crazy. You can relate to that. You know what? If you have a dog or you see dogs that are leashed, then don't allow your dog to run up to those dogs. I mean, first of all, you've got to obey leash laws. It's really important. They're there for a reason. But don't just assume, because you've got a friendly dog, that, oh, my dog's friendly, it's fine. No, it's not. Maybe my dogs are on the leash because they're not so friendly, or they don't like dogs running up to them. Or, people who are walking in a park might not want a dog running up to them. So I really think that some dog guardians have to be a little bit more aware.
Yes, I love that. So the bottom line there is before you approach a dog you don't know, either with your dog, with yourself, or with your child, just ask. Maybe come over and say hello, right? Is that a good thing to do? It's very simple, right?
Absolutely, completely simple. Oh,
yes. And Victoria, what about people who really want to do it right? They read the books, they watch your television show, they watch their video on training dogs. They really want to be a good dog steward. Is there something that people in general still miss? Maybe something very simple or a general concept, another concept you can share with us. You've shared so many wonderful things. Another little lesson that we all can take in.
Well, first of all, I think, taking the time to teach your dog how to cope in this world is very important. That starts with relationship building first before you even start teaching a cue, like a sit or a come to me. The relationship is the first thing you need to concentrate on, because if you have a great relationship with your dog, when you call your dog to come to you, your dog's going to come to you. All right? So if you concentrate and focus on that first, and one of the great ways to build relationship is simply by playing with your dog. I don't think that we play with our dogs enough. And most dogs love to play. And if your dog doesn't like toys, then use food or use something like do a dog puzzle, do something interactive with your dog, build that bond, build that relationship, and then you can start to teach different cues. So I think put the focus on bond first and relationship first, rather than oh my gosh, I want to teach my dog to sit and stay and lie down and touch and watch me and all that kind of stuff.
I love that. And you mentioned food or play or what. A massage is great. All doggies love massages, right? I mean, all of them are going to want a massage. Yes.
Some of them do. Most of them do. Some of them don't. Some of them are quite sort of touch sensitive. And obviously it's the way you...
That's a very good point. Very good point.
Yeah,
right. You have to get the cues from your dog.
Every dog's an individual.
Yes. I guess the bottom line then is that the dog will tell you what he is going to respond to. So listen to the dog, what he's telling you, right? Is that a good way to say it?
Yeah. And again, I think you bring another great point in there, is that I think we need to take more time listening to our dogs, not telling us things all the time. Take time to observe and to listen and to read body language. And I'm excited because I'm also writing my 4th book, which is all about the language of dogs and the latest science, what the latest research has shown us, which is truly incredible, about what various body signals mean. And, how far the tail wags to the right means something different to how far the tail wags to the left, things like that. And so, that's what's going to be in my book. And that's exciting because, when you can really, truly read your book, the physical aspects of your dog's body language reflects the internal emotional state. So you can read your dog better.
I love that. I love that. Yes, I noticed we had a border collie, and when we would come home, his tail would always do a circle. And we'd say, look, Guardian's tail's doing the circle. And it always meant something very specific, right?
Yes, that is just a happy tale. That is just, all is great with the world. My humans at home, I love you.
That's so great. And Victoria, back to State Farm, you mentioned that they don't breed discriminate as an insurance company. Can you tell our listeners going a little bit more about breed-specific legislation and restrictions and what that means and how State Farm really is working to support all good dog stewardship, even the big dogs? Can you talk about that a little bit more, please?
Well, I think they've got it right. And, and the message is, regardless of breed, any dog can be a great dog and any dog can bite. I think when you start sort of saying, well, the Rottweilers are bad or the German Shepherds or the Pit Bulls, you're effectively saying that all the other dogs are fine. Well, no, any dog can be a great dog, the way it's raised, the way it's bred, and the way it's treated. And any dog, if it's badly abused or genetically predisposed, has been raised in a bad way, not taught properly, and poorly socialized, can pose a risk. So they've got it right. And unfortunately, breed-specific legislation, I come from a country that has banned pit bulls for 23 years, or more than that now. Yet have the rates of dog bites gone down or gone up? Well, unfortunately, they've gone up.
Wow.
It shows that it's working. Wow. Even the politicians, they realize that the BSL is not working. And it doesn't have the desired or intended effect that they thought it would. But it's very difficult for lawmakers now to suddenly turn around and go, hey, let's get rid of them, let's get these breeds of dogs back. And then it just takes one bite, and then everyone's going to go crazy. So, unfortunately, trying to turn around BSL is really, really hard. And I think it takes some courageous people to do it. But I also think that's why State Farm is smart, because they're saying, look, we're not going to discriminate on the kind of dog that you have. We do say you have to be a responsible owner. Recklessness won't be tolerated. However, if you are a responsible owner, then whatever dog. And that's what I subscribe to, because what makes me most frightened is not the dog, it's the person on the other end of the leash.
Absolutely. Well, Smiley is a big dog. He's super friendly. He's a therapy dog, a crisis response dog, but still he's a big muscular dog. So he really appreciates this work that you and State Farm are doing. And he loves you, Victoria. I want to just let everybody know, again, back to Victoria personally, Smiley and I live in Los Angeles. And in addition to the pet work we do, we're actors. Oh, and as a matter of fact, we're on location right now in Kentucky shooting a Hallmark film. Smiley is playing Raquel Welch's dog. But I'm telling you this for a reason, because in LA, I interview and work with a lot of stars. And so in this world that we live in, we don't get starstruck. I live in Malibu, and there are stars in the coffee shop and doing down dog and yoga right next to me. But Victoria, when I first met you, it was at the Genesis Awards, and I was so excited. I was just like, oh, I just met Victoria Stilwell. So we are such big fans of yours, Victoria. It's always such a pleasure to see you. It's just so much fun. So now, speaking of animals leading us on adventures, we met you, Victoria, and Smiley got his first picture with you at the Genesis Awards. And now you all are working together on State Farm Canine Assist Team. Can you tell us about that? Just give us a recap for that.
Again, this is really, really cool. And so State Farm, the social media team, developed what's called the Canine Assist Team, CAT for short. And it sort of draws attention to amazing dogs and the people who live with them. And the way that these dogs, like you guys, Super Smiley and yourself, how they make a huge difference in the lives of others. And I'm the coach. So, there's 5 canine assist teams, and I'm head coach, which I'm very proud to be. But not that any of these dogs need any kind of teaching whatsoever, because they're all amazing. But so this is the canine assist team, and I'm really proud to be part of it.
And it is so much fun and so whimsical. And again, big shout out to State Farm for thinking so creatively. And speaking of that, Victoria, I love the way you think outside the box, or maybe it's more accurate to say you put your human thinking on hold and think the way a dog would perceive it, as we mentioned earlier. And one of my favorite examples, do you remember on your show, It's Me or the Dog, there was a very, very large dog. He might have been a Great Dane, a huge dog. And when he rode in the car, he barked at everything. He never stopped barking. So you fashioned a curtain around all of his windows to block his view until he was good, and then you'd let him see. Do you remember that episode?
I do, and I've done that a couple of times. And what I found is that actually when you kind of cut the vision, when you do block the windows, the dog just calms down because seeing all these visuals going past at speed or dogs coming close to the car or people coming close to the car is actually too overwhelming for many dogs.
Yes.
So when you take that pressure off and you block the windows and you kind of make a nice den in the car, and then the dogs quieten down and you reward the quiet, then gradually you start to sort of open the car up a little bit again so that they can get more visuals, yet you're still praising the quiet. Yet if they bark again or if they get back into that den-like space, it's all about feeling safe. And so quiet behavior, well, they'll get rewarded with a visual if they're quiet, but it's not too overwhelming. So it's basically just saying to the dog, hey, cool it. I'm going to help you cope being in the car. And that's all it was. So, I remember that. I think it was 3 Great Danes.
I just remember big dogs.
Yeah, one with 2 Great Danes, and then there was 3 Great Danes. I mean, talk about, oh my gosh. That was quite a job, that was.
That was funny. Well, Victoria, I want to hear more from you about dogs right after this break. Smiley, can you wait? Good boy.
Sit, stay. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
Remember when you swore you'd never get married, never have 4 bedrooms and a minivan, and never have...
Twins? We're having twins?
And then never happens and becomes the things you never want to be without. For all the nevers you now want to last forever, State Farm is there to help protect them with everything from life insurance to college savings and more. And that's the difference between just having insurance and having a State Farm agent. To find a State Farm agent near you, call 1-800-STATE-FARM or visit statefarm.com.
Pet Life Radio, the #1 pet radio network on the planet, joins forces with iHeartRadio to put the power of your pets in your pocket.
Awesome!
Download the iHeartRadio app and rock Pet Life Radio on your phone, on your tablet, on your Xbox, in your car. Pet talk, pet tunes, and fun pet times. Pet Life Radio and iHeartRadio. Positively Possum.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Hey, hi, it's me, Ross Matthews, and I'm on a super smiley adventure.
And we're back on a super smiley adventure with the positively wonderful Victoria Stilwell. Victoria, when you speak to groups, what is your main message to them? What do you lead with?
I think my main message is that kindness is powerful.
Love it.
And, and I was really badly bullied when I was at school from the age of 13 to 14 by actually a particular girl. And she sort of seemed to have this power that many bullies have where they follow them. And so I was mercilessly bullied. And back then, really, there wasn't really any help. You couldn't really tell your parents, or even if they did, they didn't do anything about it. And then the teachers didn't really want to know. So I was kind of left by myself. And fortunately, a year after, things made a turnaround. But I've never forgotten that. I've never forgotten that. And I always thought there must be something within her. And subsequently, I found out that there's some sort of massive insecurity that's making her do this. And so I really, even from then on, I thought being kind is so much more powerful, and being a bully is cowardly. But there is an insecurity there. So
yes,
that's my message, is that if you truly want to be powerful, if you truly want to show that strength in you, be kind.
Absolutely. I love that. And Super Smiley is the kindness ambassador of kindness for the Canine Assist team. And Victoria, thank you so much for being such a friend to me and Smiley, and for supporting Smiley's latest kindness video. Speaking of kindness, in this one, I'll let everyone know it's an animated little film, 1.5 minutes, and Smiley is flying through the air in his red cape and his Super Smiley outfit. He's sharing kindness around the world. And let me go to our producer, Mark Winter, our super producer, as I call him. He wrote the song and the music video for us, and Super Smiley invites everyone to help him share kindness by watching his video and sharing it. And State Farm is a sponsor on that too. And Victoria, you're so kind. You have your logo on there, and everybody can find that just by Googling Super Smiley Kindness Video. So Victoria, thank you so much for your work with kindness and for supporting Smiley as well in that.
Oh, you're very welcome. I think the work you do is amazing. It really does. And it changes people's lives.
It does. And I fully understand that the cute little whimsical kindness video is not going to stop horrors that happen to dogs. But I do believe just as strongly that it will plant the seed. It will plant the seed and open people's minds to wait, maybe this is a powerful way to be. Exactly what you were saying, Victoria. So thank you for that. And Victoria, a couple of quick fire questions. Is it possible for only one person in a family to be the dog's caretaker and trainer, or does it indeed need the whole family to keep the same structure with the dog? What do you think?
I would think so. Dogs kind of will anchor themselves maybe to one main person, usually the person feeds them, walks them, gives them the most attention. However, your dog is part of the family. And so I think every member of the family, old or young, need to take part in that dog's care.
Right. And integrate them. I completely agree with that. And another question, because sometimes you hear yes, no, but I want to hear what Victoria Stilwell has to say. Is it okay for dogs to sleep in the bed with their people?
Yes, absolutely fine. Unless, people have always got this idea that I say that dogs shouldn't sleep in the bed with me. Absolutely not. It's just that I'm called in when dogs are biting. One member of the couple or something, when the one person is trying to get into bed and then the dog's protecting the bed.
Right, he's claimed it.
In that way, the dog's got to have some time on the floor before it's allowed back on the bed. But no, absolutely. It's great.
Right. Okay, and what do you think about dogs wearing clothes, dogs being dressed up in outfits? What's your opinion on that?
Not the biggest fan. But I've mellowed a little bit. I mean, obviously, coats, they're cold and things like that. That's absolutely fine.
Oh, absolutely. Smiley's cold-natured, so when we go to the coffee shop,
Right. If it's a photo opportunity or Halloween or it's an event, fine. But not just every day. Because, again, clothes mask really important body signals that other dogs find it very difficult to read. Also looks very strange and could cause fear in other dogs as your dog walks past in a frilly dress or something like that. So, That's fine.
I'm pretty much right with you on that. And also, when people sometimes, not all the time, because like I said, when Smiley goes to the coffee shop, he's very cold-natured. He has almost no hair on him, and he will ask for his sweater. He'll start crawling up on me, and that's when I know he needs his sweater. But sometimes when people dress them in the frilly dresses, they stop treating them like dogs, and we're doing them a disservice, a dishonor, when we don't honor their beautiful brains and the way they think as dogs. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree. And, look, in some ways, yes, you should treat a dog like a child because, the same philosophies and the same things that we see are really successful in raising children we can use with our dogs, just the way it is. But you've also got to celebrate their dogdom too, that these are dogs at the end of the day, and they have the needs, these canine needs, and which you need to give them the outlets that they need. So I would say a good balance is what you need.
Yes, good balance. I love that. Victoria, can you give your website or social media where people can keep up with your events?
Oh, yes. They can go to positively.com or they can follow me on Facebook, which is just facebook.com/Victoria Stilwell, or on Twitter @Victoria S. And yes, we're on there every day. So, say hi.
Wonderful. And Super Smiley and I both were on Facebook and Twitter as well, and all of our links are at MeganBlakeOfficial.com. And before we go, we want to say that without our amazing producer and the co-founder of Pet Life Radio, we wouldn't be here. So a huge Super Smiley shout out and thank you to Mark Winter, our super producer, and Victoria Stilwell. Thank you so much for joining us and for all you do for people and their dogs. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. It's been a pleasure.
And from all of us here at Pet Life Radio on a Super Smiley Adventure, we hope you love all your adventures with your pets. And until next time, woof and super smiles.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.